Alright, 3 weeks ago there were like 15 of you guys here, and now there's 30 fucking thousand! So I'm gonna try something different today. Welcome viewers, new and old, to a potentially recurring segment on the channel called Hot Takes! If you can think of a better name, tell me, because I really don't like hot takes, but that's beside the point. I usually cover older games on this channel, the shit I grew up with, which means I rarely get a chance to talk about the fresh stuff that I'm playing right now. So this series is meant to alleviate that fact. Pre-warning, this series is going to be a full spoilers kind of thing. I don't want to limit myself when I talk about these games, so just be prepared for that shit. Let's jump right in and talk about one of my favorite experiences in a long fucking time. DMC5 begins with franchise noob Nero joining the Stump Squad with Kaz and Big Boss. Oh wait, never mind.
Spoiling shit right out of the game.
So before very recently, there'd been but one DMC game I'd played to completion. That game being the reboot. And yes, before you say it, I know. Nah, but the reboot is fine. I never actively followed this series from game to game until this point. This is the first DMC I've played on release, so you can't blame me for not knowing that I was participating in blasphemy back then. On its own, it's a fine game. Sure, the protagonist is a world-class douchebag, and Virgil aborts a baby with a sniper rifle, but we all know that shit by now. We have the OG back, that game is like quaint by this point. Remember that time Nante told that demon to go fuck himself like 15 times? Haha, yeah, I remember that. That was terrible. End of reboot conversation. So yeah, DMC5 is fucking awesome. I finally understand what my friend Keenan meant when he said that these games get crazy. This combat is so goddamn deep that it boggles the mind. Dante alone has so many moves that it gives me fucking anxiety. Like every second of a fight, my mind is racing at 90 miles an hour trying desperately to keep up with these fucking bladed lizards. Oh my god! Slowly learning how to utilize every aspect of each of the three main characters' kits was such an awesome experience. And alongside that, you've got a legitimately great story that entertains at every turn. Series newcomer V is great, and he's gone. God damn it, I like that guy. V's playstyle is absurdly unique, and as someone who plays as a summoner in every game I possibly can, I had a lot of fucking fun with it. Plus, he's integrated into the story beautifully. He serves as a great look at a softer side of the Alpha and the Omega, showcasing that there is still a bit of humanity in there, in the form of a beautiful little sandal-wearing chibi boy toy who looks like he would have been the lead singer of a 1980s goth jazz fusion project. Urizen was a pretty dope addition as well. He's kind of a basic bitch, but that's the point. He's reflective of that part of Virgil that's always on the hunt for more power. Meanwhile, the only power Dante is interested in is the shit that keeps his lights on, which makes Virgil look all the more like a petty bitch by the end of it all. The game begins with Virgil on some 9/11 shit, again, and yet the finale of this game basically equates to a slap fight. And that's brilliant. The whole story feels grandiose all the way through, but when you get to those last few missions, it's just down to two brothers who cannot fucking get along, and the glam metal demon nephew who puts a stop to it all. In conclusion, Chainsaw Motorcycle. Gotta get working on Top 10 Weapons Volume 2 after that shit. Alright, moving on to one of my favorite studios' newest title, Sekiro. Shadows die twice. 3, 4, 5. Shadows gonna keep dying. Shadows gonna keep dying until they wanna snap this goddamn game in half. I had almost forgotten the fuckery, but it's back in full force. Sekiro just came out, so as I'm sure you might have guessed, I haven't finished it yet. But I'll go ahead and give some of my initial impressions just because it's a new Miyazaki joint and I gotta talk about that shit. A lot of you are new here, so just so you know, Bloodborne, favorite game of all time right there. Absolute masterpiece, 10 out of 10, I love everything about it, so immediately, Sekiro is kind of at a disadvantage. I'm so heavily biased towards Bloodborne that I think I've mentally not been giving this game a fair shake, simply because it's not Bloodborne. That being said, lots of interesting stuff happening in Sekiro, and it gets better with every hour I spend with it. Right off the bat, holy fuck, a From Software game with a functioning jump button? What year is this? What plane of existence am I on right now? And then one of the first things you can do is swim. You can swim! You can kill fish! You can get killed by fish. I know it's a little thing, but it's weird to see the word hug in a Miyazaki game. It's like he's trying to reach out. No, Hidetaka-san, I will not stop hugging this wall. It makes me feel safe, okay? This single word is the happiest thing that's ever been in any of these fucking games. On the note of hugging walls, stealth. It's a thing now. It's not much of a thing, but it is a thing. Sneaking up on motherfuckers and music cueing them to death seems to have kind of replaced the whole luring single enemies away from the group mechanic, which is a nice change of pace after all these years. Overall, this whole game is just a breath of fresh air. It still retains the modern From Software polish while feeling more like a slightly older action game, something from the mid-2000s. It's kind of like a high-class version of Ninja Blade. Man, I should make a fucking video about Ninja Blade. That's bringing me back. Sekiro's new deflect system, while not being revolutionary, stands out as a simple and elegant way way of twisting the classic Souls parry to portray blade-on-blade combat, in a way that really ends up feeling satisfying when you nail it down. L1 or LB essentially functions as a clash swords button, which means if you time it right with an enemy's attack, you'll deflect their weapon and lower their posture, which will eventually lead to you being able to land a sick-ass death blow that will either end the fight instantly or take away a big chunk of a larger opponent's health. It's an essential function of Sekiro's combat, and it does a good job of mechanically setting the game apart from the Soulsborne crew. Did this motherfucker just kick sand in my face? Do I look like a fucking joke to you? Is this a game to you? I am the noble shinobi, goddammit! Putting down this disrespectful peasant is a good segue into the main issue I'm having with the game though, and I gotta say, it's a big one. I can't flop these dead bodies around anymore. I am fully considering refunding my purchase. Much like every modern Miyazaki game, Sekiro comes with an incredibly steep learning curve. Arthur Morgan would fucking plummet down Mount Sekiro. But so far, it's been an intense, perilous, and ultimately rewarding journey. So if you're into getting gratuitously gaped by your games, I couldn't recommend it more highly. In conclusion, I'm only like 6 hours into the game, so I don't have much more to say.